Hey folks, welcome to my first video on this test automation channel. Um, since we'll be using JavaScript for most of the automation, I thought it would be better to, just quickly go over the very basics of JavaScript. Um, we'll be using Node.js for most of the tutorials, and it'll be better if you guys like most of you should be familiar with JavaScript, but yeah, I just want to cover it for people who don't. So, in my experience, a problem with many test automation developers is that they start automation without fully understanding the language, and I and it's a bad like experience because um, and this is especially true with JavaScript, although it applies to all languages in general, and more specifically JavaScript because, on one hand, JavaScript is very easy to work with because of its easy syntax, relaxed type system, and easy setup. But at the same time, working with JavaScript, especially when you're troubleshooting, it can be very daunting. And if you don't know language well, it's a big problem. And another reason is because of the asynchronous nature of JavaScript. Um, but once you understand the language, it's very fun to work with. It's very easy to get started with things. It's very easy to script out, and I think it's an amazing language. It's a beautiful language for especially for creating tools and doing automation. So the thing is, I won't cover JavaScript in depth because there's plenty of learning resources, probably more than any other language, well, most of the other language in JavaScript. But I will cover the very basics and especially the things you should watch out for. We'll also discuss node installation and tools maybe in the next video or some other video, but I just want to show you how easy it is to get started with JavaScript language itself. If you just have a browser, you don't need any tools, you don't need any installations to work with it. And that's mainly because most of the browsers, including Firefox, IE, um, Google Chrome, all these browsers have built-in dev tools available. We'll be using Google Chrome, but you can do it in most of the other browsers as well. So let's get started. The thing is, the first thing you need to do is, so either you can I'm using a Mac. There's shortcuts for open the inspector, but the simplest way is to right click and do inspect, and this will open um, the dev console. So there's this elements, you can see like web elements, and we'll cover some of it in later tutorials, but you have the console. Let me clear the console, and then you've got all sorts of, and we will probably cover this the very first tutorial, but we will cover most of these later on. But I just want to show you how you can just work with JavaScript on your web browser without any tools. So in this case, let me see, I can increase the font size. And so in this video, we're going to cover basically very quickly the strings and numbers data types. Later on, we'll be doing arrays, booleans, all the other data types that JavaScript has. Um, yeah, so var is the reserved word used for variable. and that's in the old JavaScript. We'll cover like how it is different in the newer JavaScript, but let's just use var for now. Let's say we have a string hello, and that's a variable name, and then we want to assign it a string. You can use double quotes, so double quotes and then semicolon. And the message, so hi there, and this will save it in this hello variable. So if you write hello, it'll print out hello here. And instead of double quotes, you can also use single quotes, so it doesn't matter, it's exactly the same. Hi there. Well, let's just change it to hello there. So this will change the variable. So and we do have a constant in newer JavaScript, which we'll cover later. But yeah, basically this is you can just simply replace it with a new string. And so this is with single quotes. But what if you want to use a single quote inside single quote? So you can escape that single quote, and this is how you will do that. So equals, let's say we want to write Sam's hello, but you can see that this breaks, because the single quote is ending here, and you should get an error, like syntax error, right? Because it is considering this as an identifier, which is not, because the string has closed. So the way you would do this is basically, if you write up arrow, you'll go to previous command. So it's very easy to work with if you want to go to another. So I want to correct this by having, so this is basically escaping. The other way to do the same would be to use this, but use double quotes instead of single quotes, right? So this would also work. So exactly the same. So this is one of the things. Similarly with double quotes, if we wanted to use double quotes inside the double quotes, then you can't do this, because it'll break. So what you would do instead is either to escape or to use double quotes inside the single quotes. Anyways, that's enough for strings. So it's basically simple. We'll use strings, and later on, if there is anything, I'll cover it. But similarly, you have numbers. So, and I'm using Command K to clear the screen. Yeah, that's the max. So I think it's Control K for Windows. Now, numbers is exactly the same. So var, let's say a equals 25, and then you can have var b equals 3.5, let's say. So that's so this is an integer. Similarly, this is a floating number, and so you have a as 25, b is 3.5, and you can have a plus b, which is showing 28.5. So similarly, like, this is how you work with. One thing to watch out for is, so if you have something like this is a string, So now if you do a plus b, it becomes 253.5. And this is because a is 25 in our case and b is 3.5. So basically these are the things you need to watch out for. And because the second part is string, what JavaScript, so JavaScript has this concept of autom because it's not a statically typed language. Not a type language. It converts, it looks at the two variables and see, okay, so the second one is a string, so I'm trying to add a string to string. So what it does is converts the a, which is 25, a number, into a string, and then concatenates these two strings. So to work around that, what basically you need to do is cast this string into a number. And a very easy way to do in JavaScript is just to do um, uh, there is parse int as well. So you can do parse int, and then you can have the number b, and in this case uh, you need to do parse float, because it's a float. In case of number, because I did parse int, it parsed it as an integer and took off the decimal. So in this case, I'm doing parse float, and as you can see, the number is correct. Another easier way to do this same thing is to use number method, um, and inside the number just give b. So this would do the same thing. I find this easier. Parse float has other aspects you need to be aware of, but we'll not go into details, but number is the easiest way to do it. I think that's pretty much it for this first tutorial.